Imagine, every time you wake up in the morning, you stand before a choice that can change everything that will happen in the next 24 hours. However, most people are unaware of this. They wake up, hurriedly reach for their phones, and let the outside world decide their emotions. They allow notifications, the status updates of others, to dominate their minds. And then the entire day passes in a series of automatic, uncontrolled reactions. But you are not like that. You are a Stoic. You understand that in the first moments of the morning, your mind is a blank page, ready to be written on by the thoughts you choose. This is when your power is formed. Instead of letting external factors dictate your emotions, you choose to decide for yourself. You recognize that your first thoughts upon waking will program your entire day. And as the Stoic philosophers have pointed out, these thoughts are not vague fantasies or empty affirmations. They are statements based on reality, helping your mind align with how the world operates. Great Stoic figures like Marcus Aurelius understood the power of the morning. When he woke up, he did not let emotions or external circumstances influence him. He had trained himself to begin the day with firm affirmations, as he wrote in his journal. When I wake up, I know I will encounter people who will make me angry. People who lack gratitude, deceivers, or those filled with envy. However, instead of letting anger take over his mind, he prepared his mental strength to face any challenge without faltering. So, you too can do the same. You can wake up each morning and tell yourself, "Today I am the one who decides my emotions. I will not let anyone or anything affect my mind and peace." As soon as you accept that you are fully responsible for your emotions, everything will change. This does not mean you will never feel disappointed or frustrated, but it means you realize that these emotions are not a permanent part of your life. They are just temporary visitors, things that come and eventually go. Do not let these emotions take over you. Do not let them dictate your life. As Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and great psychologist, pointed out, everything can be taken from a man, except one thing, the last of the human freedoms: to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. If a person can maintain their spirit in the most horrific circumstances, then you, in your daily life, can certainly control your emotions. Most people live as victims of their emotions. They let their mood depend on traffic, the weather, other people's behavior, or their financial situation. They wake up and immediately check their phone, letting notifications and messages decide whether they feel good or not. This is emotional slavery, and it's why so many people feel helpless in their own lives. But you, as a Stoic, will not let yourself become a slave to your emotions. When you declare, "I am responsible for my emotions today," you are not only declaring your freedom, but also confirming that your happiness, peace, and self-confidence are not things that can be bought or changed by anyone. In reality, true strength does not come from controlling the external world, but from controlling the internal world. You may not be able to change what has happened to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And when you learn to control your emotions, you will discover a kind of freedom that many will never know. Practice this habit every morning. When you wake up, place your hand on your heart and tell yourself, "My emotions are my choice. My peace is my decision. Today, I choose strength over weakness, clarity over ambiguity, and hope over fear." Most importantly, you will realize that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your own emotional experience. Your peace is like a fortress, and you are the gatekeeper. Every day, you have the power to decide who and what is allowed into your mental space. Unfortunately, most people open the gates wide, letting criticism, anxiety, and negative thoughts freely enter and take over their minds. And in doing so, they lose control. But a Stoic understands that it is this very control that is the true source of strength. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers in history, wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He understood that true strength does not come from trying to control everything around you, but from managing what happens within you. When you declare, "Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission," you are building firm boundaries around your inner world. You are saying that your tranquility is not a public playground where anyone can come and cause chaos. You are the guardian of your mind. This does not mean you will become indifferent or distant. On the contrary, this means you will develop a discipline of desire, as the Stoics referred to. This is the ability to remain calm despite external storms. You can acknowledge that someone has said something hurtful without letting it dictate your entire day. You can recognize a failure without letting it shatter your confidence. The most important thing is the moment between the event and your reaction. That moment is the sacred space where you can choose how to respond. Most people react too quickly, not realizing that there is a moment, a space, between what happens and how they respond. When you practice finding this moment, you will discover your inner strength. So, every morning, when you stand in front of the mirror, look into your own eyes and say, "Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission. I am the protector of my inner world. Today, I choose who and what is allowed into my mind." When you do this, you will notice a big difference in how you face the world. You will become more resilient, not because the world around you is free of difficulty, but because you have learned how to protect what matters most in your life: inner peace. One of the most profound principles that Stoicism teaches us is the awareness of the limits of our power. When you invest your energy into things you cannot control, you only wear out your mind and disturb your spirit. And that's exactly why many people feel stressed, anxious, and unable to find peace. But a Stoic does not do this. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, taught that everything in life can be divided into two categories: things you can control and things you cannot control. What you can control is your attitude, actions, words, reactions, and decisions. Everything else, from the behavior of others to the weather, the economy, or even other people's emotions, is beyond your control. And this is the key to becoming stronger in life. Instead of spending most of your energy trying to change things you cannot change, you focus on the things you can control. This helps you minimize anxiety and makes life feel much easier because you are focusing on what truly can make a difference. Ask yourself every morning, what will I focus on today that I can control? The answer will be clear. You can control your actions, you can control how you respond to events that happen, and you can decide what is the right action to take in the current circumstances. The rest, things outside your ability to influence, are what you need to let go of. Think of life as a ship sailing out to sea. You cannot control the wind, but you can steer the rudder. When you put all your energy into steering your ship, instead of worrying about the direction of the wind, you will feel much more at peace and confident. Each morning when you wake up, remind yourself, I will focus only on what I can control. I will not waste energy on things beyond my reach. When you do this, you will notice a new sense of peace and strength within. Instead of feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, you will feel full of life because you have started your day by focusing on what matters and what you can change. Many of us measure our self-worth by the achievements of the day. Did you finish your work? Did you win the argument? Did you achieve the goals you set? When life becomes a series of results, your worth can easily be shaken by external changes. And this is exactly what Stoicism warns us about. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, went through significant upheavals in his life. He was not only an advisor to the emperor, but also someone who understood that self-worth cannot be measured by temporary things or external challenges. When he was exiled by Emperor Caligula and forced to commit suicide under Nero's reign, Seneca realized a profound truth. Every new beginning comes from the end of another beginning. This means that your worth is not dependent on immediate results. Success or failure in one day is just a small part of the long journey. Measuring your worth by external factors like work, money, or societal recognition is a trap that the Stoic constantly seeks to avoid. True value lies in the qualities that cannot be measured: perseverance, courage, and the virtues you maintain in difficult times. When you understand that your self-worth is not dependent on whether you achieve today's goals, you will feel freer. You will no longer be obsessed with success or failure. Instead, you will be confident that you did your best, and that is the most important thing. Each morning, remind yourself that your worth is not the result of one day. You are valuable even if you don't achieve everything you want. Remind yourself, today I will do my best, but I will not let the result define me. I am valuable because I exist, not because I succeeded or failed. With this mindset, you will learn to act without being pressured by results. And instead, you will find that true freedom and strength come from maintaining self-respect and discipline in all situations. Truly, you can only grow and mature when you know how to separate yourself from societal judgments and temporary results. In this world, countless people wake up every morning with good intentions. They will start a new project, call an old friend, or begin a new exercise routine. But by the end of the day, they've done nothing but think about what they were going to do. These intentions pass without leaving any mark, and no real results are achieved. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, would remind himself every morning, "When you rise in the morning, remember that you are rising to do the work of a human being." He understood that only action creates real change. Intentions without action are just forms of procrastination, a waste of time that leads to no real results. The difference between successful people and most others is the ability to turn thoughts into action. They do not wait for the perfect moment to begin. They actively create those moments through their actions. The Stoic does not just know what is right. They live and practice those values in their daily lives. When you declare, "Today I will act," not just intend, you are committing to yourself to be a person of action. You will not let intentions pass through your thoughts without execution, and you will not let comfort or fear stop you from stepping out of your comfort zone. Stoicism teaches that steadfastness in action, even when difficult or imperfect, is the path to growth and lasting success. The difference between a person who only speaks and one who acts is the ability to create change. Every morning, you must commit to doing what you have planned. Do not let excuses or hesitation hold you back. Remember that action is the key not only to changing your life, but also to proving to the world that you can achieve what you have decided. Do not wait for a sign. Do not expect perfection. Act even when things are not always smooth. When you act, you not only create results, but also embed those values deep within yourself. So today, instead of just having intentions, Be a person of action. Let each action you take be proof of your commitment, determination, and inner strength. In this life, no one can avoid hardship. It is a reality that even the greatest people in history have had to face. Challenges, difficulties, and obstacles are an inseparable part of the journey of growth. But what makes the difference between those who survive and those who succeed is how they face those challenges. The Stoics view challenges not as punishment or signs of misfortune, but as opportunities to refine oneself. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, wrote, "We are not distressed by what happens, but by how we react to it." When faced with difficulties, instead of seeking to avoid them or complain, the Stoic finds an opportunity to strengthen their inner power, to become stronger with each challenge they face. This does not mean that we must love pain or hardship. In fact, no one seeks out challenges or suffering. However, Stoicism teaches us that it is through hardship that we can grow. Only by overcoming challenges can we experience true growth. A muscle only becomes strong when it faces pressure, and a character only becomes strong when it overcomes the trials of life. Therefore, when you face difficulties, instead of seeing them as obstacles, view them as opportunities to refine yourself. When you encounter failure, do not see it as the end. Ask yourself, what lesson can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? And with each challenge you overcome, you will find yourself stronger, wiser, and closer to the person you wish to become. This also applies to the everyday struggles in life. Disagreements, failure at work, troubled relationships, or financial difficulties. These challenges are not punishments. They are opportunities for you to practice patience, resilience, and the ability to remain calm in the face of adversity. When you no longer see challenges as threats, but as opportunities to grow, you will begin to see everything around you change. Remember, not every challenge is easy to overcome, but when you accept them as an essential part of life, you will have the strength to never be defeated. When you face difficulties, remind yourself, every challenge is an opportunity for me to become stronger. These difficulties will not defeat me. They will only make me more resilient. In the modern world, it is easy to fall into the trap of comparison. Social media, where people only show off their most outstanding achievements and happiest moments, has become a powerful tool for comparing ourselves to others. A photo, a post, or a perfect moment can make you feel like your life is dull, not good enough, and lead you to ask, why can't I have that? However, Stoicism teaches us that comparison is the thief of joy and inner peace. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, reminded us, the one who avoids comparison is the one who avoids trouble. Cannot compare your journey to someone else's, as each person has their own unique path and different challenges. Comparing yourself to others only increases insecurity and reduces self-appreciation. Your path is unique, and you cannot walk someone else's. You have your own challenges, your own victories, and most importantly, your own lessons to learn. Every moment in your life, whether success or failure, is an inseparable part of your personal journey. You can only compare yourself to your past self, not to others. A Stoic does not seek recognition from others. Instead, they seek recognition from themselves. They understand that their value does not depend on the judgment of outsiders, but on how they perceive and understand themselves. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you truly take control of your life. You are not a copy of anyone else. You are you, with all your uniqueness and differences. Remember, success is not a race. It is a journey, and you are the only one who decides the pace, destination, and meaning of that journey. Instead of looking at others and asking why they can achieve what you cannot, focus on your own journey, your progress, and your growth. Ask yourself every day, what have I done today to become a better version of myself? And remember, your path is not someone else's path. Motivation, like the weather, is unpredictable. One day, you wake up full of energy and determination, ready to conquer any challenge. But the next day, you may feel drained, lazy, and unwilling to do anything at all. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is the only thing that can help you maintain consistency on your journey, regardless of emotions or circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and also a great Stoic philosopher, was keenly aware of the importance of discipline. He never waited for inspiration to act. Instead, he took the right actions, even when he did not feel excited or comfortable. He understood that small actions, even if undesirable, would lead to great results in the future. Discipline is the bridge between goals and success. When you rely on motivation, you can easily fail when motivation is lacking. But when you rely on discipline, you do not let emotions govern your actions. Instead of waiting for a perfect moment, a Stoic acts immediately, even if things are not perfect. They do not wait for motivation. They create it through persistence and discipline. Discipline is not a form of oppression or limiting oneself. It is true freedom, the freedom to do what needs to be done, despite not feeling like it. When you choose discipline over motivation, you do not let emotions influence your decisions. You act not because of external impulses, but because of your internal commitment. You understand that discipline is the only thing that can help you overcome laziness and procrastination, the two biggest enemies of progress. And most importantly, discipline will help you develop inner strength. Every time you choose to do what is not easy, you are building a strong and resilient character. Stoics know that motivation will change, but discipline is what will always guide them to the finish line. Decide every day, I choose discipline over motivation. I act because I know it is the right thing to do. I don't need inspiration to start. I begin because I am responsible to myself. Your perspective is your reality, and gratitude is what transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary blessings. Each morning, you can choose to focus on what is lacking in your life, or you can choose to focus on what you already have. One choice leads to suffering, while the other leads to abundance. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." He understood that gratitude is not about denying problems, but about recognizing the miracles that exist alongside them. If you wake up and only focus on what you lack, you will feel like you are always lacking. But if you open your eyes and acknowledge what you have, you will feel more complete, no matter how many challenges life may bring. Right now, as you listen to these words, your heart is beating without you having to think about it. Your lungs are breathing without your direction. You can drink clean water, have a roof over your head, and hear these words through technology that a century ago would have been considered a miracle. But how many times do you wake up and only think about what you don't have? When you say, "Gratitude will shape how I view today," you are making a shift in the way you see the world. Instead of focusing on problems, you begin to see blessings. You realize that even your worst day holds things to be grateful for. Happiness is not about having everything you want, but about appreciating what you already have. The Stoics have a practice called negative visualization, imagining losing the things you currently have to appreciate them more. spend time imagining losing their health, their loved ones, or their material possessions. Not to become pessimistic, but to become grateful for what they have. This is a creative habit that will change your whole day. Instead of waking up and focusing on the problems, you will wake up and focus on the good things around you. Instead of feeling deprived, you will feel abundant. Instead of seeing obstacles, you will see opportunities for growth. Gratitude will shape how you view today, helping you recognize the beauty around you and choose abundance over scarcity. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself, my gratitude shapes my happy life. The feeling of gratitude will not only change your mood, but also bring you closer to a life that is complete, full, and meaningful. Every dawn is a promise. If you invest in today, you will go to bed at night, richer in wisdom, stronger in character, and closer to the person you could become. This doesn't mean that every day has to feature great breakthroughs. In fact, it's the small, continuous improvements that turn ordinary days into extraordinary lives. Seneca practiced a beautiful evening ritual where he would ask himself, what wounds have I healed today? What mistakes have I made? What could I have improved? He understood that the goal is not perfection, but progress. In fact, all you need to do is improve by 1% each day. Because if you get just a little better every day, after a year, you will be 37 times more capable than you are today. This is the way to change your life. When you commit to ending each day better than you began, you are turning every day into a classroom for personal growth. You wake up as version 1.0 of yourself and go to sleep as version 1.001. This may seem trivial, but if you maintain continuous improvement every day, you will see a big difference. Difficult conversations will become opportunities to practice courage. Mistakes will become data for future decisions. Frustrating delays will become opportunities to practice patience. Every experience becomes raw material for growth rather than just something that happens to you. The beauty of this approach is that it makes failure impossible. Even if you have a bad day, you can still end that day better by learning from what went wrong. Even if you make a mistake, you can still grow by extracting wisdom from it. Even if you don't reach your goal, you can still improve by adjusting your approach for tomorrow. This is not about demanding perfection from yourself, but about consciously working on your growth and realizing that each day is a gift that should not be wasted. When you consistently end each day better than you began, you create momentum, a push toward the life you truly want to live. Your future depends on the choices you make today. So, make them meaningful. The morning declarations you make are not just empty words. They are the blueprint for building an unshakable life. When you start each day by taking responsibility for your own experiences, protecting your inner peace, focusing on what you can control, recognizing your self-worth, choosing action over mere intention, facing challenges, avoiding comparison, prioritizing discipline, practicing gratitude, and committing to daily growth, you are not just reacting to life, you are creating it. The Stoic philosophies have helped great thinkers overcome some of the biggest challenges in history. These philosophies are not just theoretical. They are principles that have been tested over thousands of years. They have been applied in the battles of generals, in the lives of leaders, and in the struggles of ordinary people, helping them become extraordinary versions of themselves. True strength is not about positive thinking or pretending the problem doesn't exist. True strength is the ability to develop inner resources to face any challenge life throws at you with wisdom, courage, and grace. These morning declarations are your daily training, programmed to build that strength. Remember, you don't have to be perfect from the start. The important thing is persistence. Start with the declaration that resonates with you the most and gradually incorporate the others. The goal is not to become a Stoic philosopher overnight. The goal is to become more resilient, more intentional, and to take more control of your experience every day. Each morning determines the hours that follow. Every day you live will shape the life you will have, and the life you create will be your legacy. Make it truly meaningful. If this message resonates with you, like this video. Share it with those who need to hear it. Leave a comment about your favorite morning declaration. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving life-changing content. Your future will thank you for the investments you make each morning today. Life is not a race to rush through, but a series of small choices we make every day. Each morning when you wake up, you are not just starting a new day, but also beginning to build your own legacy. Stoic philosophy not only teaches us how to remain peaceful in the midst of storms, but also shows us how to build strength from each small decision. These decisions, although they may seem small, are the building blocks of a solid foundation for a meaningful life. You may feel stuck when facing large challenges, but it is how you confront them that makes all the difference. When you choose to act, instead of letting fear control you, you are building solid steps forward. The more challenges you face, the more opportunities you have to refine yourself and grow your mental strength. The key is to remain consistent and never give up, no matter the circumstances. Think about what you can do right now. Take small steps today, whether it's something simple like maintaining discipline at work or focusing on your physical health. Each of these actions will lead to a significant change in the future. And gradually, you will realize that in those seemingly insignificant moments, you are building your legacy. A legacy no one can take away. Stoic philosophy helps us realize that every step, no matter how small, carries great meaning. It not only helps us overcome challenges, but also represents a journey of growth and development. Make sure that every day you live, you are enriching your inner self, building a mental resilience that nothing can shake. So don't hesitate any longer. Each morning, remind yourself that you are building your future with every decision you make in the present. And as Marcus Aurelius once said, live each day as if it were your last. Life does not promise ease. Challenges will come, sometimes unexpectedly and inevitably. But what Stoics teach us is that instead of avoiding them, we must embrace challenges as part of life. In these challenges, we not only discover the hidden strength within ourselves, but also uncover the true nature of who we are. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "We suffer not because of the events that happen to us, but because of our judgments about those events." This means that how we respond to difficulties will determine their impact on us. Challenges are not meant to make us fall. They are opportunities to demonstrate strength, patience, and the ability to control our emotions. Look at the life you are living, the difficulties you face every day. They are not curses. They are opportunities for you to show your mettle. Instead of complaining about these challenges, ask yourself, what in this challenge can help me grow? You will realize that every challenge holds a valuable lesson in patience and the ability to overcome yourself. In Stoic philosophy, challenges are tests for our inner selves. They are not simply obstacles we must overcome. They are lessons that help us become stronger, both mentally and in character. If we see challenges as opportunities to cultivate calmness and resilience, we will never feel defeated. Remember, every day you live is an opportunity for growth. When facing difficulties, instead of running away, embrace them. Be the one who finds a way to cope, not the one who is defeated. This does not mean you won't feel pain or sadness, but that you won't allow them to control your life. It is in these challenges that you will realize the true nature of strength, endurance, and unshakable resilience. So, let challenges become tools to help you build a stronger life. Let each challenge in life be an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and become stronger. Only when we accept and face them do we truly understand our own power.